All life was created in its present form 7,000 years ago by a fantastical creature from outer space! Bunk!
We need to build a wall. We need to build a wall. We need to build a big beautiful wall. We need to build a wall. We need to build a wall. We need to build a big beautiful wall. We need to build a wall. We need to build a wall. We need to build a big beautiful wall. We need to build a wall. We need to build a wall. We need to build a big beautiful wall.
On her way to work one morning, down the path along the lake, a tender-hearted woman saw a poor, half-frozen snake. His pretty-colored skin had been all frosted with the dew. Poor thing, she cried, I'll take you in, and I'll take care of you.
We need to build a wall. We need to build a wall. We need to build a big beautiful wall. We need to build a wall. We need to build a wall. We need to build a big beautiful wall. We need to build a wall. We need to build a wall. We need to build a big beautiful wall. We need to build a wall. We need to build a wall. We need to build a big beautiful wall.
But if I hadn't brought you in by now, oh heavens, you would have died. She stroked his pretty skin again and kissed him and held him tight. But instead of saying thank you, that snake gave her a vicious bite.
All right, good morning, my beauties and bees, and welcome to another installment of Live from the Hive. I'm your humble host, Bumblebee. Getting kind of my little vampire look going today. a little bit. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us this morning. Good turnout today. Look at this. Let me pop through and say hi to everybody, because we got Jason and John and Fox. And James, a lot of J names there, all in a row. Sonia's here. Bugbot's out here being a menace, stinging me when I ask it to sting somebody else. Ember's here. Sumami's in the house. Good to see you, loves. Sandy has made it. And Native Atheist is in the house. Rocking the Bigfoot flappers. You can get some of those too. Just become a channel member or hang around long enough. Someone might gift you a membership because we got some great fam up in here who likes to do that. Look at the Trees has showed up on the scene. DJ Ozzy Oz. Good morning, DJ Oz. Yeah, people do get up this early in the morning. Who knew? They're my people here, the Saturday morning cartoon folks. We got right-handed Seth. It looks like Chris Mallard's in the house from the Damn Network, bringing all over the crowd. Thank you so much this morning. Ryan's here. Hello, Ryan. Good to see you. Dee is in the house. Miss Non Sequitur. Hey. Who else do we got? Brian Stevens is here. Yeah, I'm going to have to cut off there. I'll keep doing this all day. Who's your buddy is here? Who's your buddy? Happy Valentine's Day to you. Hope you enjoyed the Valentine's Day content. If you want to see my adult Valentine's Day content, you can do that at the Spider-Gwen link that pops up here. But speaking of content and other content and all the content out there that I could be making, I'm trying it from every angle because if you didn't notice people talking in the chat, I have moved into making or sharing some. Let me pull this up. Doo-doo-doo. Boo-boo. Let's say just a sec. I have been. Is that going to be the one? Yeah. I have been a busy little bee making some cool t-shirt designs for everybody. So this is my store. It's one of those fourth wall things. But there's a link in the description here for it. But yeah, we have custom t-shirts for ya. Absolutely. We got your Mothman, you got your Swamp Booger. I believe Dave, Captive Desk, might be wearing theirs today. I'm not sure. That's what I heard. A Twitch raid. We got a Twitch raid? Nice. Hello, Muttley. Good to see ya. We also got the Jersey Devil for anybody from Jersey. You can't go around without a Jersey Devil shirt. And we got the we've got the Dogman. Now we do have the custom Mothman Cryptic Corner hat, and then some of our classic designs. We got the Clemene Moth Hive Sai. We've got the classic blue tarantula. These are the Regal Pocotheria Metallica. Beautiful. And you got your Hive hat with the bee, and then a white beanie, of course. So yeah, even if the Cryptic Corner shirts don't interest you, we've got other Hive Science stuff down here. Some beautiful Pride Butterfly socks. But what I'm most excited about is our 4 cryptid houses. Now, throughout the year, we will have more cryptid t-shirts that add and go away. But these four should stick around, though Swamp Booger might get replaced by a Sasquatch at some point. So this might go off the market. So if you get one, it might be like a rare one of a kind, like what again Captive Desk Dave has. And then I think somebody's ordered some Mothman stuff. The Mothman one's the most popular probably, but obviously because Mothman was super sexy. Check out that art. I put a lot of love into making these. All right, but I won't hold that up any longer. I won't do any more selling for you for the moment. I'll back off. I will back off and stop pitching my merchandise. Just to let everybody know that they're available, though. Wanted to let everybody know that they're out there. Get yourself a t-shirt. Well, it is the day after Valentine's Day, my friends. I need my coffee. It was a day. But now it is Saturday. It is 8:43, and we are looking at a great show today. We had the poll run through. The winners were the Queensland Tiger, which is great because that means we get to go to Tantanoola Tigers, which I love listening to Jamie go on. But we'll get to that in a minute. And then we got the Dodleston phenomena, which is, was it a computer hacker? Maybe. It might have been. Potentially. And then, obviously, for the thumbnail, I do the Breeze Bestiary topic, which today is brainworms. What are brainworms? We got a couple different species of brainworms to talk about, but we'll get there by the end of the show. So if that's what you're here for, stick around. All right. But you know what I got to do? I got to move right into Cryptic Corner. I will see you beautiful people right over there. My alarm went off right as I was clicking back over. Ain't that the way it always goes? Hello, hello, my beauties and bees, and welcome to another episode of Cryptic Corner, where we explore the... Oh, almost lost my place. All right, let's start all over again. Hello, hello, my beauties and bees, and welcome to another installment of Cryptic Corner, where we explore the supernatural, the unexplained, the paranormal and hidden, the mysterious, the alien, the accursed, and the forbidden. I'm your host, Miss Bumblebee, and today we are returning to the Outback. Hello, hello, and welcome, everybody. Welcome to Cryptic Corner. We record this show every Saturday morning, starting at, generally right around 8:45 Mountain Time, which is going to be 9:45 Central and 10:45 Eastern and 7:45 Pacific. I give Mountain Time first because that's where I am now. But I digress. We record this and you can come in and participate and be part of this lovely live chat this way. This lovely live chat over here. And we can and you can take part and participate. I'm gonna close these blinds because it's a little bright. Oh, there we go. That's better. My vampire self was starting to burn. You can participate and contribute to the show if you come on Saturday mornings. But regardless, we do a premiere of it on Friday nights, and I try to make it if I'm not working. Sometimes I'm working or busy with, life stuff on Friday nights. But most of the time I try to make it. And we watch Cryptic Corner again, or generally for a new audience, because maybe there's really not a lot of overlap between the early morning crew and the late evening crew. But I digress. I put a version of it out for everybody. Today, on our poll, we finally got to return to the Outback, to exploring thylacine and thylacoleo sightings in Australia. And there's no better place on the internet to go to get that sort of vibe than to Tantanoola tigers, because Jamie is the most enthusiastic about this topic that I have found, and it's sad to see that they haven't even hit 500 yet. So what I've done, because I like Jamie, is put the link in the description down there, and Jamie has a new video. So what I want you all to do is to go subscribe to Jamie's channel. Just hit the subscribe button, right? And then I want you to put this 13-hour ago video on your watch list, because it's not going to be covered today on today's show. If you want the newest content, you got to watch it on Jamie's channel. But go ahead and pop on over there, and you will and let him know that yeah, we're trying to help him get to 500. Appreciate his work, because it's kind of get discouraging when you get stuck under at a number like that for so long. But today we're not looking at just at the Tantanoola tiger, though. We're looking at the Queensland tiger sightings, which the Queensland tiger is a very specific beast. It's more like a thylacoleo than it is like a thylacine in most of the sightings, or a giant quoll even. But as you can see from this list of dates on the Cryptid Wiki, there are a lot of sightings of this animal, dating back to the 1860s all the way up to the 2010s. So, a lot of ideas about what it could be. Mistaken identity, marsupial lion, a novel dasyurid, a thylacine. There's a lot of speculation, but there's also a lot of video to trudge through. So in order to make this concise, we got it's about 10 videos here from Tantanoola tiger. about some of the different more prominent sightings that we're going to listen to and kind of break down. So, hope you're along for the ride.
G'day, it's Jamie, and welcome to Tantanoola Tigers. Today, I'm reading an old newspaper
Hi, Jamie.
report about a thylacine or thylacoleo sighting near Cardwell, North Queensland in 1871. So we'll get into it. This was published in the Brisbane Courier on Tuesday, the 17th of October, 1871, titled A Surveyor's Diary. The following extracts from a surveyor's diary kept during a trip from Cardwell to the rivers Mackay.
What's this Dave Con and Dave Enthusiast? There are lots of Daves out there. That's true. These are the Daves. I was starting to feel less delusional this morning. Then I remembered I'm delusional. Well, I get told I'm delusional too. So, welcome to the club. We're in good company.
And Murray, North Queensland, describing the nature of the soil and the natural features of the country transversed, may not be without interest. September 26th, 1871. Shifted camp lower down the river and were disturbed in the night by the alligators bellowing and a native tiger roaring close to our camp. The tiger came within 100 yards of our tent, but we could not get a shot at him owing to the...
So they're probably crocodiles, not alligators, unless somebody brought some alligators with them and released them. But I don't think so, not in the 1870s. Because I don't think alligators would compete very efficiently against crocodiles in this environment. And I mean, they might. I don't know if invasive alligators could get a foothold in Australia. It doesn't seem like they would be very successful, so I'm assuming that the alligators are crocodiles. In which case, the tiger could be what any kind of cat, I guess, if they're going to call a crocodile an alligator. But I would think in the 1870s it was a thylacine. But we'll see what they say.
Darkness and the scrub. I believe it is not generally known that there is such a thing as a native tiger in Queensland, but it is nevertheless a fact. September 27th and 28th, 1871. Working down the river, scrubs very dense and swamps deep and lined with cutting rushes from 9 to 10 feet high. Where the country is dry, which is very rarely the case, on this south bank the soil is poorly and sandy. On the north side, from the bluff upwards, the country is far better, being dry and open, lightly timbered and well grassed. Saw the tracks of the tiger.
So, I mean, I guess I'm waiting for the description to see what how we are differentiating it from a thylacine, because I think because thylacines had the stripes right on their hindquarters. So I'm curious to hear if they're seeing just something with stripes and saying, "Nope, that's a tiger because it's got stripes." Because I mean, these are people in the late 19th century. They're not naturalists or anything. They're just regular people. A striped large carnivore or carnivorous animal is a tiger.
And measured them 4 inches long by 4.5 inches wide, so that there is no doubt about the existence of a very large animal of the cat tribe in these scrubs. The end. Well, this is really interesting. I totally believe this guy is a surveyor. So, he's taking these official notes for the government.
So, I mean, if there is a big cat on the loose in Eastern Australia, it's a invasive or a released animal. It's not a native animal.
stuff like that. And then he said they moved their camp, and the alligators were bellowing. But then they said he heard a native tiger roaring close to the camp, and they said it came within 100 yards of the tent, but they could not get a shot at him because of the dark and the scrub. So obviously they could see something moving about, or at least hear it moving around. And then the next day or the day after that, he saw the tracks of the tiger, and he measured them, and they were 4 inches long by 4.5 inches wide, which is like, that's pretty big. I'd love to know whether they're seeing thylacoleos or thylacines, and I wish he had said with the tracks whether there was 4 toes or 5 visible toes. That would have made a big difference. And I'm pretty sure this is the first account.
Exactly. Whether it was digigrade or plantigrade would make a difference. Whether the left claw marks or not with the tracks would make a difference. A lot of things about the tracks can tell us what species we're looking at.
Of a thylacine or thylacoleo in Queensland. Okay, that's it for me. I'll get back to you all next time. Bye. G'day, it's Jamie, and welcome.
G'day, it's Jamie. Hi, Jamie. I'm going to go on to Australia and find Jamie. No, not really. That'd be creepy. That's like the guy that, like last night we watched the Chupacabra video on CrypticCorner. And it was those guys hunting down that scientist. And I'm like, don't do that to me. So yeah, don't allow anybody to hunt me down. No one needs to know where I am.
The Tantanoola Tigers. Today, I'm reading an old newspaper report about thylacoleo or thylacine shootings at Cardwell, North Queensland in the early 1900s. So we'll get into it. This was published in Sydney's The Land on Friday, the 11th of February 1938, titled, "In North Queensland Jungle Lurks Mysterious Animal That May Be Worth Its Weight in Gold."
I'm gonna turn my space heater on, but I'm gonna let Jamie keep going.
Within recent years, there has been so much extensive exploration work done that today very few parts of the world remain unknown to man. As one famous scientist has said, the surface of the globe now offers little scope to the modern adventurer. Despite this, however, there are still a number of animals roaming the little-known parts of the world that have not been yet
Crikey is right, Jason. Crikey indeed.
Introduced to science. And although not generally realised, one of the strangest of these uncaptured animals is known to exist in the far northern wilds of this continent, in the jungle country of northern Queensland. This is the mysterious marsupial.
Yes, do not allow the people in the chicken suits to hunt me down. That's just rude.
Tiger.
Yes.
An elusive creature which has been rarely seen and has never been captured alive, while only a few have been shot over the last 30 years. Fruitless search. The first stories concerning the presence of this strange animal came out of the north over 30 years ago, and since then, innumerable scientists and museum collectors from all parts of the
quite fruitless
world have penetrated the northern wilds in search of the mystery animal, without finding any trace of it. One of the most elaborate expeditions to search for the tiger.
Yeah, I say the Amazon still has a lot of, so does the Congo. At this point, the Congo had, in the 1870s, the Congo had lots of blank area for a long, long time. Throughout the 19th century, Central Africa was blank, and the Amazon was blank. I mean, the Australian outback was pretty blank too, but...
Yeah, was organised some years ago by that famous explorer, Sir Hubert Wilkins. But although the expedition combed a large area of jungle, no trace of the animal was found. Now a woman is searching for the strange creature. This is the noted German scientist, Miss G. Neuhauser, who is visiting Australia to
That's a cool last name, Newhauser.
collect rare animals and birds for the New York Museum. She is at present working in the far north, where she is making every endeavour to obtain a specimen of the little-known tiger, worth a fortune. A small fortune awaits the person who is successful in capturing the first live specimen of the rare animal, for there are many museums throughout the world that...
So, I got a question, like, how does a Australian or Eastern Australian person tell the difference between when someone's talking about a tiger, like a cat, or the taiga, like where Siberian tigers live? Right? How do, like a tiger from the tiger, tiger from the tiger.
that would willingly pay thousands of pounds for such a find. As much as £5,000 and £10,000 has been paid in the past for rare animals by overseas museums. But the value of a marsupial tiger would undoubtedly be much greater. This tiger is one of the very few opportunities...
Oh, when did you hear that, native atheist? A new funnel web spider, huh? Did they find a new species, or did they do some genetic testing and decide to divide the existing species into smaller groups? A lot of times, like, that's what happened with the anaconda. Like, oh, they found a new biggest anaconda. No, they didn't find like a new species. What they did was they did some genetic testing on the anaconda species, or the anaconda populations they have, and they're genetically distinct enough to be divided into two different species. And the one that was named as a new species is also the one with the largest individuals. So therefore, it's now the largest species, the heaviest species of snake, is a new species of anaconda, but it existed as a species of anaconda before that too, if that makes sense.
remaining for enterprising collectors to bring in a rare animal, which, as one scientist has said, would be worth its weight in gold. Bushmen have seen it. What type of animal is this mysterious tiger? There are many well-known bushmen in the north who have seen the animal and described it. It is said to be considerably larger than the common native house cat, and is of a yellowish or fawn colour striped like a tiger.
See, that makes me think it's a
creature-
thylacine too, saying it's larger than a house cat. Because if it was a tiger, if it was a thylacleo, or people would describe it as a lot bigger than a house cat. They would describe it as bigger than a dog, or maybe as big as a hog, or as big as a calf. A lot of times is what they'll say.
Is also said to be as fierce as a young tiger, while Aborigines of northern Queensland wilds have told me that it is one of the most dangerous animals in the north, crocodiles included. When seeking prey, the tiger climbs a tree overhanging an animal track and springs down on the first...
Well, no, it's not. No, Amber, stop it. There's no giant anaconda, or anaconda gigantea. And that's the way that the sorry, my microphone keeps bending down for some reason. Fix it like that. Is that better? Anyway, the media spun it that way. Oh, a new species of giant anaconda. So frustrating. I think you're just teasing me though. Titanoboa is closely related to the anaconda. Like, the boids are the closest the modern boids are the closest relatives to it. So yeah.
A suitable victim that passes underneath. The natives have told me that the tiger is capable of killing a large kangaroo. The natives down climbs a tree. When seeking prey, the tiger climbs a tree overhanging an animal track and springs down on the first suitable victim
that is leopard behavior. That's interesting. Is this a drop bear? Is the tiger? Is the Queensland tiger a drop bear?
Passes underneath. The natives have told me that the tiger is capable of killing a large kangaroo and that it would not hesitate to attack even a man
that's bright.
should he happen to pass
bright,
underneath
Jamie.
the tree in which...
I know that the picture probably was that bright of a contrast, but you could like turn that down and not shock my eyes. That'd be cool.
the animal is waiting for prey. Denizens of the jungle.
Now, that's definitely not thylacine behavior, though, because thylacines are cursorial. They filled a niche, like, they're more like a wolf or a coyote or a jackal. Well, they live probably more like a coyote or a jackal, though, because they only lived in, like, little close-knit family groups or that were completely solitary.
The mystery animal inhabits the dense northern jungles and wild rocky ranges and has been seen on many occasions in the jungle-covered mountain ranges of Cape York Peninsula of northern Queensland. In such rugged country, impenetrable to anyone not armed with a chopping knife, the tiger, which is a sly nocturnal animal...
Why are they showing such open country? Why they're talking about how dense it is, though? This looks like I could run through it without too much resistance, from this angle anyway. Lots of spacing between the trees.
Can easily evade capture. Not even the Aborigines have been successful in capturing one of these rare animals, although on isolated occasions a tiger has been killed. Some years ago, 2 of the animals were shot while killing calves on a farm on the fringe of Cardwell jungle country, North Queensland. This fact was
Now that looks a little denser. Yeah.
Recorded by Mr. B.S. Sheridan, a former police magistrate.
Oh, having the initials B.S. B.S. Sheridan. And we're supposed to take this guy's word for it.
Recorded by Mr. B.S. Sheridan, a former police magistrate of Cardwell.
A cop. The B.S. Sheridan was a cop, y'all. So... remember, we're listening to what a cop's saying here.
Who was shown the tiger's skins. Will this mystery animal ever be captured? It undoubtedly will someday, for collectors will not rest until it is. Only recently, a specimen of another of the world's mystery animals was captured after scientists and collectors had been striving to obtain one for many years.
All right. Poll time. So what mystery animal is he talking about? Let's start a poll. What mystery animal discovery is being cited? That's what we're going to do. And we're going to do, let's see... we're going to do coelacanth, obviously. We're going to do gorilla. And we need at least 3. Let's do panda. A panda. And what other animal? Okapi, maybe? Okapi. Yeah, we'll do 4. Okapi. So, what mystery animal is being cited here? I want you all to take the poll. And while you're taking the poll, I'm going to take a quick break to, again, go back and see if we've got any new subscribers for Jamie yet, because he's at 464, 465. One person went over and subscribed. So I'll wait right here. Take the poll, go over and give Jamie a sub, and then we'll get back into the video. This one's almost done. But this is like the longest one too. Well, here's a longer one. But I don't know if we're gonna watch that or not, because it's, we might. It's we'll see what the future holds. Obviously, we have the time constraints of the show. All right, so 30% say coelacanth, 30% say gorilla, 10% say panda, 30% say okapi. Do you think it's a tapioca weasel? Tapioca weasel never makes these streams because they're super early for him. But Yeah, otherwise I would put him on the poles and stuff more. And Bigfoot, says Sumami. I doubt it's Bigfoot. We can't be Tasmanian tiger because that's the topic of the show. That's what he's comparing. He's saying what the guy was saying, and we can rewind it, was basically that, hey, who's to say this tiger doesn't exist? They found this animal, and he's about to reveal what the animal was. So we'll back it up just a little bit so we can hear it.
After scientists and collectors had been of the world's mystery until it is. Only recently, a specimen of another of the world's mystery animals was captured after scientists and collectors had been striving to obtain one for many years.
Obtain one over many years.
This is the giant panda.
Giant panda. Okay. Who had giant panda? Let's end the poll because I don't want to sway the results one way or the other. It looks like Panda had the lowest number of votes. It looks like that, so that would be just one vote for Panda, I believe. Yeah. Who won? Somebody won. Somebody actually won. An individual. Jason, was that you? Congratulations. Please accept this award on behalf of the Hive. And, thank you for playing along. Here you go.
A bear cat of the Chinese mountains. For hundreds of years, this strange animal remained uncaptured. But last year, the first specimen, a baby, was captured alive and taken to the New York Museum there. That's pretty interesting, this. I'm assuming these are thylacoleos, not thylacines. Mainly because when they were describing it, even though they said it was like a common native cat but larger, and they said it was a yellowish or fawn colour and striped like a tiger, the Aborigines say it's as fierce as a young tiger, and they even scared it.
I would love for Thylacoleo to still exist. I guess we need to look at what Thylacoleo is. So Thylacoleo is what they sometimes call the marsupial lion. Thylacoleo carnifex. Let's bring some info over so you guys can know kind of what it's looking like. All right, so Thylacoleo carnifex, the largest carnivorous Australian mammal known, may have hunted other Pleistocene megafauna like the giant Diprotodon. almost a Diptrodon. That's what I used to call it when I was a kid. Diprotodon. Thylacoleo was one of the first fossil mammals described by Australia, discovered not long after European settlement. It may have been an ambush predator or scavenger. It had enormous slicing cheek teeth, large stabbing incisors, replacements for the canine teeth in other carnivorous mammals, including other like dasyurnids and stuff. Well, this isn't even a dasyurnid. That's the thing. This isn't even the group of carnivorous. It's closer related to the Diprotodon. It's closer related to wombats and koalas than it is to dasyurnids, which is like thylacine and Tasmanian devils and quolls and the only extant carnivorous, or not the only, but the only largely extant carnivorous marsupials, the dasyurnids. But this wasn't one of them. This was something else completely. This was like a giant predatory koala. So, a drop bear, needless to say, a drop bear. Thylacoleo carnifex is the last and largest member of the Thylacoleonidae, the marsupial lions. Distinguishing features of the Thylacoleonids include enlarged cheek teeth and third premolars, that formed long shearing blades. These were developed at the expense of posterior molar teeth, which were either reduced in size or absent. Thylacoleo carnifex had a wide, heavy, short-snouted skull with a bony bar, postorbital bar, as in primates, behind the orbits. It has the longest shearing tooth of any thylacoleonid, as well as large serrated canine-like upper incisors and horizontally oriented lower incisors, replacements for the canine teeth of other carnivorous mammals. Thylacoleo also had an enlarged thumb claw encased in a sheath like a cat. Yeah, it may have been used to disembowel prey. This is insane. Killer koalas. Let's look at this more. The limb portions of Thylacoleo suggest that it was a cursorial adapted for running, but not swift. Forelimb proportions are similar to those of some arboreal or saltatorial animals. Its clawed forelimbs may have been used to reach out and bring food towards its mouth. Its pseudo-opposable thumb suggests that Thylacoleo may have been able to at least partly scansorial adapted for climbing. Western Australian and Tasmanian specimens are smaller than Eastern Australian specimens, and sexual dimorphism, where one sex is larger than the other, is reported. The weight of Thylacoleo is estimated to range from 90 to 160 kilograms. That's a huge animal. Huge animal. Aw. Your kitties apparently are adapted well for the outback. Is Butters a Thylacoleo? Maybe. Most of the sites where Thylacoleo fossils have been found are interpreted as dry, open forest habitat, the Darling Downs in Wellington, and Nara Kurte and Nullarbor Caves. Distribution: Thylacoleo carnifex was widely distributed across Australia during the Pleistocene. It has been found in all Australian states as well as the Northern Territory, including Darling Downs in Queensland, the Wellington Caves in New South Wales, and Nara Kurte Caves in South Australia, and Thylacoleo and Nullarbor Plain in West Australia. Feeding and diet. The diet of Thylacoleo has been subject to much debate. Described as a carnivorous bone crusher, as a scavenger, or perhaps even an herbivore. It was first described by Sir Richard Owens, yes, that's Sir Richard Owens, as one of the fellest and most destructive predatory beasts. Its unusual teeth and herbivorous ancestry, however, prompted further suggestions, including crocodile eggs, carrion, meat, and bone marrow. The suggested diet, raising the most eyebrows, however, is that cycad nuts or native cucumbers, dubbed the melon muncher hypothesis. That's like what the creationists say about like T-Rex. So before the flood, when all the animals were herbivores, T-Rex used its big teeth to crush melons. And the pre-diluvian lions is what we're going to call them. AR pre-diluvian, not pre-deluge. Not pre. We'll do antediluvian lions. Yeah, that had square teeth. Where were we? We did the feeding. We talked about the nut. Okay, paleontologist Robert Broom had earlier pointed out that since Thylacoleo had no grinding teeth to process plant matter, it could not have included much plant food in its diet. Most scientists today believe that Thylacoleo was carnivorous. Its teeth seem clearly designed for slicing flesh, and its powerful forearms and large retractable thumb claws suggest a fierce, powerful predator. A study of the skull and jaws found that Thylacoleo had the head shape typical of carnivores, similar to the skull of other carnivores except for the reduced canines. The use of the incisors as stabbing teeth and co-opting of the premolars rather than the molars as a carcinal tooth, a tooth specialized in carnivory, further studies on the bite strength find that Thylacoleo had the most powerful bite of any mammalian predator, living or extinct, and could have taken prey much larger than itself, such as subadult Diprotodon. Life cycle. Little has been found in the fossil record to give us direct information about the life cycle or lifestyle of Thylacoleo. However, 3 individuals in Moree, New South Wales shed some light on the raising of young. An adult female adult. Why does it say that twice? That's weird. Make sure that I'm not misreading this. An adult, female adult, with a very young baby, pouch young, and a second older juvenile, young at foot, were found associated, almost certainly a family group. The adult is represented by a complete skeleton, the baby by an incomplete lower jaw, and the juvenile by a skull, all held in the fossil collection of the Australian Museum. Fossil description. Well, yeah, we're about done here. Okay, we'll finish this up. For about 100 years after its discovery, Thylacoleo carnifex was known only from fragmentary remains, teeth, partial skulls, and jaws, and some postcranial fossils, which is, things not associated with the skull. The first complete skull of Thylacoleo was described in 1956, and the first near complete skeleton lacking a foot and tail was found in Moree, New South Wales in 1966, the mother and young described above. Much material has been recovered from Narakurte Cave in South Australia, and several complete individuals have been discovered in Thylacoleo Cave on the Nullarbor Plain in West Australia. Evolutionary relationships. Most paleontologists think that the ancestor of Thylacoleonids were herbivorous, an unusual occurrence since most carnivores evolved from other carnivorous lineages. One proposal suggests that Thylacoleonids evolved from a possum ancestor, Phalangioidea, based on the dental formation, or the dental formula. The skull of the cuscus, Phalanger, and on a phalangolid-like musculature. Alternative evidence from certain skulls features show that Thylacoleonids branched off from Vombatiformi line, the lineage that includes wombats and koalas. Yeah, which is the current belief on that. All right, let's get back to Jamie. Jamie, are you still with us? Jamie, are you coming in clear?
About more than crocodiles, but they said when it's seeking its prey, it climbs the tree overhanging an animal track and springs down on the first victim. And they said even that it killed large kangaroos and even men. It's really interesting because that to me sounds like a Thylacoleo more than a thylacine. They're saying it's sly and nocturnal and can easily evade capture. And then some years ago, 2 were shot while killing calves on a farm at Cardwell, North Queensland. And a former police magistrate, Mr. B.E. Sheridan, was shown the tiger skins to prove that they were tigers. So I'd love to know whether they're Thylacoleos or thylacines. Okay, that's it for me. I'll get back to you all next time. Bye.
Bye. He'll be back in just a second.
G'day, it's Jamie. And welcome
G'day.
to Tantanoola Tigers. Today, I'm reading an old newspaper article about thylacines and Thylacoleos in far north Queensland in the early 1900s. So we'll get into it. This was published in the Queenslander on Saturday, the 14th of April.
So Jamie's going to read to us from the Queenslander. And I'm going to go grab some
1923.
Some
Titled,
Tylenol. I got a
Nature
bit of a
Study,
headache creeping on.
The Elusive Tiger. Does it exist? Does this supposed tiger really exist in those faraway ranges in the Daintree and Palmer River district? Since we made the announcement that a scientific expedition from the south had passed through Brisbane on the way to Cooktown to conduct an investigation, much interest has been aroused, and the existence or non-existence of the animal has been frequently discussed by those who know the districts well. We are assured by a well-known Brisbane authority who knows the Daintree country thoroughly that he believes that the tiger certainly exists, or rather that it did, within at all events quite recent years, and he suggests that it was closely allied to the Tasmanian or marsupial wolf, which is still found in the roughest parts of Tasmania.
Cassowaries for.
Though this gentleman never had the
all the way in here
opportunity
before I
of seeing
sloshed
one
it over the
himself,
edge.
he assured
Sorry, Jamie. I just need a second to rant at my hive here. Made it all the way in here trying to hustle with my coffee. Because I refreshed my coffee while I was out there. And made it all the way back to my desk and slosh. But yeah, I needed to take some of this because actually it feels like I have some sinus stuff backing up. Unfortunately, there's been some colds going around, and we are going to be dealing with seasonal stuff too, because things start blooming here pretty early.
assures us that the Aborigines frequently describe the animal,
My
and
hair
from
keeps
their
getting on my face, it's driving
descriptions
me
see it
crazy.
once associated with the Tasmanian wolf, commonly called the tiger because of the blackish-brown transverse stripes across the back. Mr. W. Llewellyn Puxley, an English naturalist, in a book published in February of this year entitled Wanderings in the Queensland.
There's plenty of streams out there of me getting sloshed live, Ember. Not usually on my channel though. Usually on somebody else's channel. And there's somebody on Gur's channel.
Bush says that the bones of the marsupial lion have been discovered in the fluviatile deposits on the Darling Downs, and from the number of those remains found close together, it would appear that they were overwhelmed by some sudden drying of the ground in some such way that these extinct animals may have perished. A great controversy, however, is at present raging over the remains.
I too love Shoebill Stork's native atheist.
Professor Owen takes a view.
Do you want to do Shoebill Storks for Breeze Bestiary? We could probably cover that.
The teeth show that they are intended to hold struggling prey. Professor Flower, on the other hand, holds a different view. However that may be, several species of marsupials have developed in the carnivora in the course of ages, though remaining marsupials.
To be clear, you don't develop into carnivora. Carnivora is an order of placental mammals that includes caniforms and feliforms, respectively. I think that he just means carnivorous animals or carnivorous lifestyle converging on a carnivorous body plan, on a carnivoran body plan.
Marsupials. One of these, the most interesting, is the Tasmanian wolf, which is on the verge of extinction, being confined to a small district in the interior of Tasmania. He adds that the nearest surviving relative of the thylacine is the Tasmanian devil, which, although plentiful in places, is nearing extinction also. This animal possesses a temper, says Mr. Lassouf, which has given its name, because it resents even being looked at. Both these animals, he says, are related to
Feels sometimes. Some days. Yeah, when I'm like not all dolled up and stuff, I resent being looked at. I hiss and recoil back into the darkness. I'm like, no, don't see me not. That's what Gary Oldman's Dracula said. See me not. And he says, "See me now." And he bangs Winona Ryder and that blonde chick, or she was kind of blonde, Lucy, the character playing Lucy. That scene, that monster fucker scene in that movie, and Francis Ford Coppola presents Bram Stoker's Dracula. Yeah, that movie's great. Super cheesy, but like in the right way.
To the native cats. Mr. W.H. Dudley Lesouff, director of the Melbourne Zoological Gardens, in his book, The Animals of Australia, gives illustrations of both the Tasmanian wolf and the Tasmanian devil, and says, there are persistent rumours amongst the natives of the existence of a large tiger cat, as large as a bulldog, with brindled fur and very large eyes, which is said to spring on the tree kangaroo and crush the skull in its powerful jaws. The Aborigines are very frightened of it, and they say it does not hesitate to attack a man and often kills their dogs. Seeing that the boongarry or tree kangaroo was only made known to science in 1882, it is not improbable that a new carnivore will yet be discovered in the same wild region.
That does make sense that there'd be something that like filled like a Fusa type lifestyle for the thylacine.
Mr. Lesouff described,
or not thylacine, for the tree kangaroos, because they kind of feel like a lemur like niche in these tropical jungles of northeastern Australia and New Guinea. So them having a tree adapted predator does make sense. It does, but I mean, so far goose egg, right?
describing the Tasmanian wolves, says that they lie quietly during the day in caves and at night come forth to hunt their prey. They have great scent, but not any great speed, and prefer to spring upon unsuspecting prey, whether the settlers' sheep or native wallabies. He adds that some 20 years ago, the price of a tiger in Tasmania was only $5.
Our Dying Son. Your name reminds me, I got in a Facebook debate some years ago with someone who wrote a book called Our Dying Son. And they sent me a copy of it to read. It was a Young Earth Creationist book. And I started reading it, but I lost it in the various moves and stuff. You aren't that same guy, are you? I don't know if you are or not, but
Pounds. The end. Well, that's really interesting. This, I think, these are thylacoleos in North Queensland. Just by the description of it, the one that they said that the persistent rumours of natives of the existence of a large tiger cat as large as a bulldog, which is like a bull Arab dog, brindled fur, large eyes, and springs on tree kangaroos. So you've got to be up in a tree for that, which does not sound like a thylacine. Sounds like a thylacoleo. And it crushes the skull of the tree kangaroo with its powerful jaws. The Aborigines are frightened of it, and they say it does not hesitate to attack a man and often kills their...
thylacines were cursorial, and the thylacoleo was semi-arboreal. There's also a band, but I remember that book, and I am not. Okay. Creationism sucks. Yeah. The new Nosferatu was okay. I laughed when it showed his little legs at the end. I heard it was really good.
Dogs, which sounds to me more like a thylacoleo than a thylacine. All really interesting stuff. Okay, that's it for me. I'll get back to this all next time. Bye.
Bye.
G'day, it's Jamie, and welcome to Tantanoola Tigers. Today,
welcome to Tantanoola Tigers, love. Good to have you here. It's great to see you all. Thank you for coming by.
Hey, I'm reading an old...
I'm practicing my Australian accent. Mark Reed's gonna get totally mad at me. I said totally. That's not a word. Totally. I don't know how they say totally. I guess I don't say totally a lot in Australia. I like the names, though. Look at this name up here. Toowoomba.
newspaper article about thylacoleo sightings at Springbrook on the Gold Coast hinterland, Queensland, in the early 1900s. So we'll get into it. This was published in the Queenslander on Saturday the 14th of April 1923, titled On Springbrook by Professor S.B.J. Skirchley. I am glad someone is in earnest going to probe the truth.
Really? I think he has a lot of character in his voice. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. He sounds like he's trying to be consistent with his voice. But yeah, I mean, that's just my opinion. That's why I like this channel. That's why I'm trying to get him up to 500. I don't agree with a lot of like the conclusions that he's drawn. Like, oh, this is a thylacoleo sighting and things like that. But what I do appreciate is the archiving of all these sightings in individual videos. It's great, in my opinion. My humble opinion as a cryptozoologist.
Of the belief in the existence of a large tiger cat in Queensland than as yet gladden scientific eyes. Not having enjoyed the privilege of being museum bred and only being a wanderer of the wilds, I have always paid respectful attention to the accounts given to me of strange creatures by intelligent men who relate what they have seen and heard in their long experience.
And that's fair. I mean, there's people that I like that a lot of other people don't like. Like, I like Chills, and a lot of people don't like Chill's voice, so we don't cover Chills on this channel anymore because people are like, no, I can't deal with that. Fair enough. I can speed it up for sure, but I don't know if it's gonna speed up the whole playlist or not. Let's see.
Experience of the byways of our land. As my contribution, here is an extract from one of my 1913 notebooks. Near Mount Nimble, there is a gorge just below a precipice in Springbrook, which the Aborigines would not enter as there was a big tiger cat, large as a big dog, and would kill man or dog. No living Aborigine had seen it, but their fathers had told them of it. Can this be a reminiscence of thylacoleo, or more probably the Tasmanian devil? It is described as having great teeth. The Aborigines used to try and kill it by enticing it out by taking a dog and making it howl, but it always got away. Anyhow, they were never successful. James Ferguson Timbergetter reported this to the late Mr. E. Cooper, who told me. Here is another extract from the same book. About the year 1906, a big tiger cat took a...
My Chills impression is amazing. I have to say Burger King foot lettuce in my head over and over again to find it. Burger King foot lettuce. But yeah, I mean, I'm not telling you guys. You guys tell me what you like. I like this channel, but if you guys don't like it, we can find a different channel that covers thylacine and Australian creatures and stuff like that. And that's fine. It sounds immediately normal. Yeah, I'm used to watching, like, when I review these things, I usually review them about 2 times speed. Sometimes it takes me a minute to get the vibe.
A lot of fowls from Mrs. Richter's at Nerang. It was
I don't know what you're talking about, Sumami.
big as a terrier dog, and her dog would not tackle it. It was shot and was yellow with black spots. What became of the skin, Mr. E.J. Cooper, my informant, does not know. I have just asked him about it, and he said, if these good people like to go to Springbrook, they may get one. When I was up there 2 years ago, Ben Gillespie, a fine bushman, pointed out to me a log on which he...
How many fine bushmen do we have in the audience today? Let's do a survey. Survey time. Are you a fine bushman? Let's see.
saw one sitting a few days previously. He saw it several times. My wonderful timber-getting Fred Jack Duncan, who pretty well lived with the Aborigines as a boy, has told me much of the beast, though even he, who has spent all his life in our mountain scrub, never saw one. I'd like you to hear him sing an original song, full of Aboriginal words, round a fire on a cold night. Here's one of my richest loads for Aboriginal...
So, yeah, here's some constructive criticism from my Hive, Jamie, is the background track, maybe drop it down about maybe to 3/4 of the volume you have it at right now.
law and language. All gone now, but I must cry, belay the end. Now that's really interesting. I wonder what they're seeing. Are they seeing thylacoleos or something else? They keep calling them large tiger cats, and tiger cats are quolls. But the sizes they're talking about and the ferocity and anger of these animals is really weird. Like the one on Springbrook near the Mount Nimble, they said
a quoll is going to be completely, again, quolls are dasyurids, right? Which are the Australian predators. Where Thylacoleo, again, is a vombatiform. So.
Tiger cat there as large as a big dog. Well, quolls don't get that big. And it'd kill a man or a dog, which that doesn't sound like a quoll to me. It sounds like a Thylacoleo. They described it as having great teeth, and the Aborigines used to try and kill it by enticing it out by taking the dog and making it howl, but it always seemed to get away. And then in 1906, a big tiger cat took a lot of fouls by Mrs. Richter's at Nerang, and they said it was as big as a terrier.
Look at them fine bushmen. My audience right now, with 11 votes, we are 55% fine bushmen. Yeah.
Dog. I'd love to know what kind of terrier they're talking about. But her dog wouldn't tackle it, and it was shot, and it was yellow with black spots, which is interesting. I'd love to know whether they're seeing thylacoleos or just really super large quolls. But I get that on the quoll thing, is quolls don't get that big.
I think Australian bushmen were they're not a hairy people. I mean was the old timey word for the Aboriginals, the Bushmen. So, I mean, they weren't a hairy people necessarily.
Okay, that's it for me. I'll get back to this all next time. Bye. G'day, it's Jamie, and welcome to Tandanilla Tigers. Today, I'm reading an old newspaper article about thylacine or thylacoleo or even big cat sightings in far north Queensland in the early 1900s. So we'll get into it. This was published in the Johnston River Advocate and in
I assume that since they show all these logger pictures that these reports were made, a lot of them were made by loggers, presumably.
Vale News on Friday, the 31st of October, 1930, titled, As It Is Here More Too. Writing in the Sydney Bulletin, Polycarp says, North Queensland has a mystery animal, the striped tiger cat or marsupial tiger. The scientists have accepted its existence, but are not sure that the creature is a marsupial. No museum as yet possesses a skin or skeleton, but the big cat with tiger-like stripes instead of spots is well known. Wilkins kept an eye out for a specimen.
How is it well known if it hasn't been discovered by science? Come on now.
During his trip around the Little Known Peninsula, but failed. The Aborigines and many old-timers know the animal well. The late Bill McCard brought the first one under public notice at Scrubby Creek near Herberton, but in those days, no one thought of preserving the remains.
Oh, don't report my poll, John. John made meatball marinara subs yesterday. They look delish.
Kill a full-size kangaroo and has been known to pull down calves. The animal referred to is not the only strange creature seen in the far north. Some men have seen more varieties of snake than were ever at large, and later have also seen a new species of bat known as the dingbat. Of course, it costs more to see these big creatures.
The dingbat. Oh my gosh, we have to look into that and find out what it is.
Than the price of admission to a zoo. The end.
We don't want no scrubs in Arctic Fox. We want no scrubs. A scrub is a guy who can't get no love from me. Hanging out the passenger side of his best friend's ride. Trying to holler at me. Yeah, they rhymed me with me there. TLC did.
That's really interesting.
It's true, they did.
Lots of people are seeing either big cats or thylacines or thylacoleos, as they call them, striped tiger cats or marsupial tigers. They say scientists have accepted its existence, which no, they haven't, and they're not sure whether it's a marsupial or not. They say it's well known for having tiger-like stripes instead of spots. The Aborigines all know about them, and many old-timers do too. Mr. Bill McCord shot one at Scrubby Creek near Herberton, and I've read about this, and I'll find a newspaper article about this shortly. They brought it into the pub and had it on display at the pub at Herberton, and like in those days, no one thought of preserving the remains, but with the weather in North Queensland, it got
half dingo, half bat,
and they got rid of it.
Half dingo, half bat. Of course, there's a dingbat.
Okay, that's it for me. I'll get back to you all next time. Bye. G'day, it's Jamie, and welcome to Tantanoola Tigers.
All right, this
Today,
will be the last
I'm reading
one.
an old newspaper report about a big cat, or thylacoleo sighting, at Bow
Toowoomba.
Desert, Queensland, in 1908. So we'll get into it. This article was published in Brisbane's The Telegraph on Monday, the 24th of August, 1908, titled Bow Desert Lion, Young Man's Story, What He Says He Saw. The Tantanoola tiger scare, or something equally silly, has arisen in the Bow Desert district. For a young man, 19 years of age, and presumably of sound mind, has poured in the ears of the police a thrilling tale of woe. Whether he had been reading the account of some of the escapes of Celos from the wild beasts is unknown, but his story appears to be the result of some terrible nightmare. He declares that on Sunday evening, 16th of August, he was riding to his father's house, when suddenly his horse took fright near a paling fence. He was horror-stricken when he saw a crouching beast with glaring eyes in the act of springing. The beast sprang at him, or so runs his story to the police, but it missed its object because of the prancing of the horse. But its teeth snapped like the steel jaws of a fox trap as the mysterious something leaped through the air.
A mysterious something. The most mysterious of things are always a something.
This attempt, it growled like a lion and again crouched, anticipating of springing. By this time, the young man, who bears the name of a distinguished statesman, evidently thought he had inspected it sufficiently. He put spurs to his horse and galloped through the bush towards his father's home. The lion, for such he says it was, forgetful of its habit never to give chase under such circumstances, followed him for a quarter of a mile. Time after time, he says the animal, as it raced beside him, sprang through the air. When he reached home, he collapsed on a sofa, and the horse is said to have hidden itself under a bush or a sheet of bark, or something equally unsafe. Then came along another young man, who said that he had seen a bear or a tiger asleep on the roadside.
So, they can give a very good description of it, just that he thought it was a lion. And I mean, there were people who brought exotic cats to Australia. I believe there was, even the Australian military had a mountain lion mascot. One of their units did.
Under police examination, however, the latter young man admitted that what he saw might have been a log. Sergeant Keering made a thorough examination of the place after he had been acquainted with the facts of the thrilling encounter, but he has reported that the only tracks he could find were those of a galloping horse. Of course, the police department discredit the story, just as they discredited the existence of the Baron Jack Bunyip, the Tantanoola tiger and the Grafton tiger. At all events, Bow Desert might be added to the list of places which cherish bunyips and tigers and other explainable
bunyips
things.
and tigers.
Well, this is really interesting.
Bunyips and tigers and drop bears, oh my. Bunyips and tigers and drop bears, oh my.
Know what he's seen, whether he's seen an African lion or a thylacoleo. He just called it a lion. So he's riding to his father's house, and his horse got scared, and then he saw it crouching beside a fence with glaring eyes, and it sprang at him and missed, and he said its teeth snapped like steel jaws of a foxtrap, and it leapt through the air and growled like a lion. So he took off. He didn't want to be there, and he took off at 1,000,000 miles an hour. And the lion followed him for a quarter of a mile. And he says time after time it raced beside him and sprang through the air. That's really scary. That would have been freaky as, but I would have loved to have seen it. And then another young man was walking along.
Do you think thylacoleo would have preyed on emu? Maybe, especially small emu, probably would have been a prey item.
And he said he saw on the side of the road either a bear or a tiger asleep on the roadside, so I'd like to know what's going on there. But I'd love to know whether he saw like an African lioness maybe, or a panther or something, or a thylacoleo. All interesting stuff. Okay, that's it for me. I'll get back to you all next time. Bye.
All right, we're going to stop it there, even though we're not through the full playlist. How far did we make it? We made it to 6 out of 10, so not bad. Not bad. We got time to move along, though, and the rest of these from here on out, we may have to come back and do a part 2 on this. I did not expect this to take the full hour, but it sure did. I was worried that I didn't have enough content. That's actually why I went and read all this about thylacoleo. Also, I want you all to know what thylacoleo is and what it looks like. There's some pretty cool reconstructions out there. This one's pretty nifty. And that one's pretty cool there. Kind of just showing you what its head would look like. Its front and sides give it kind of a bunny-like impression when you look at its skull. Kind of funny. don't know why I keep yawning. Goodness gracious. I'll need a nap after the show. All right, so what do you think of the Queensland tiger sightings? Did the people see a thylacine, an escaped exotic big cat? Did they see a long extinct Thylacca? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you for joining us tonight, and we'll see you tomorrow for Live from the Hive. So please remember to take care and be kind, and we'll see you next time. All right, Live from the Hive, folks. I don't know what's going on. I all of a sudden have this freaking throbbing headache behind my eye right here. Oh, I don't know. It's driving me crazy, though. Anyway, yeah, don't go anywhere. There's more show to come. Yeah, I don't even be bug bot to say don't go anymore. I got Jason here every Saturday to say, hey, don't go. Because we do have more show to come. There's lots more show to come. This is just the first segment. And the next segment is going to get super weird. So you're not going to want to miss it. Because we're talking about something called the Dodleston messages after intermission. So, with that said, I will be back with you momentarily. Please enjoy this short commercial break.
Did the evolutionists just kill a pterodactyl? Or did they finally catch up to the creationists?
Obviously, there's not going to be a ton of talk about these things. And the thing is, I do believe there was talk about these things. I believe if we study history, the Confederates were able to shoot pterodactyls, back in the Civil War, and they spread these things out. Anybody can look it up online. They spread these things out, and this is a historical fact. So, they spread this thing out, and it's got a huge wing length. And it's a pterodactyl they shot. So, of course, these things have been around. Now, they went extinct, obviously, slowly, but surely. And so, I don't believe that just because, at some point in time, coming from your perspective, that, just because they stopped talking about it means that they never saw it, when we have all this evidence that they've seen it.
Hello, my name is John Pendleton, and I'm speaking to you from Zacatecas, Mexico, center of Mexico. And today I'm going to tell you of my project to attract and capture a real living pterodactyl dinosaur.
But to the Christian, it makes common sense. Of course, there could be a few still alive. That's the first sighting I've heard of in Fort Worth, Texas. I've heard of them in Arizona. A friend of mine knows where some of them live, and he's going to go catch them and put them in a dinosaur adventure land he's going to build. And I can't reveal the details yet.
They're a form of what people call them pterodactyl. But if you consider them descended from some type of ramphorhynch or pterosaur.
Hello, hello, my beauties and bees, and welcome back to another installment of Getting Weird with It. Appreciate you sticking around. Sorry, I had to go take some sinus meds too, because I don't know what's going on. That's probably gonna knock me out, but we're gonna get through this show before it does. So don't you worry about that. I'm excited to bring you guys the topic for today, because usually when we get weird with it, it's like somebody currently doing something weird, or having a weird conspiracy theory or whatever. But this one's actually goes way back. I found a channel to help cover it. It's like Vanessa Islas, but it's not the person narrating is not a woman, so I don't know what's going on with that. But like their page is just like it'll have a bunch of random stuff, and they'll have like a mystery video mixed in with it, right? Like discovering the old Mesoamerica, UFO, the mysteries of the sky. Just like it'll have their, family content and stuff, and all of a sudden there's someone's gonna call it a variety channel, I guess, but they do a pretty good coverage of the Dodleston messages, which was computer ghost in the machine woo back in the 80s. So let's have a look and see what that's all about.
A chill wind whistles through the ancient graveyard. The Dodleston church stands sentinel, whispering tales of centuries past. These stones guard a mystery, the enigma of the Dodleston messages. A voice from the past, whispering through a modern computer. The quiet village of Dodleston becomes an epicenter of paranormal investigation. Prepare yourself for a journey into the unknown. Our story begins.
Yeah, I do have red hair. Is there a reddish hue to my hair? The
late 20th century, a time of technological advancement and burgeoning communication.
Keeps getting in my face, though.
Amidst the rise of personal computers and the internet, a small group of researchers in Dodleston embarked on an unusual experiment. Their goal was simple: to explore the possibility of using technology to communicate with the afterlife. What they received, however, was far from simple.
I'm trying to remember to balance the audio while I'm watching it, because I hate having to go back and do it after. I hate when it's like so off out of balance. I've been trying to be better about that.
Instead of the anticipated ghostly whispers, they encountered a complex tapestry of coded messages, a digital enigma wrapped in a historical conundrum. These weren't your typical ghostly apparitions. No spectral figures.
Yes, consume cannabis during the breaks. That's what they're all about, for sure.
Manifested. No chains rattled in the night. Instead, the messages arrived silently, cloaked in the language of computers, a series of ones and zeros that hinted at a deeper mystery. The researchers, initially puzzled, soon realized they had stumbled upon something extraordinary. These messages, once deciphered, revealed a strange and unsettling narrative, a tale woven from the threads of...
Well, they did have that book that came out. We'll talk about that too. The Vertical... What is it called? The Vertical... Horizon?
And the spectral whispers of the past. The Dodleston messages, shrouded in mystery, quickly captured public attention. Newspapers ran sensational headlines, and whispers of strange happenings spread like wildfire. The messages became a cultural phenomenon, sparking curiosity and fear. Was this genuine communication from beyond the grave, or a clever hoax? The stage is set, the curtain rises...
Yeah, the vertical plane, that's what it was. Sorry, I had to go check. Because you can still get that on Amazon. So I'm sure that someone's made some money off of this. Right? The vertical plane is about these messages. Let's get into it.
History unfolds. Dodleston, a name that conjures images of quaint cottages, rolling green hills, and a history as old as the ancient stones that line its lanes. Located in Cheshire, England, Dodleston is a village...
I've had red manic panic hair, I've had blue manic panic hair, I've had green manic panic hair. I guess where you're coming from.
Steeped in history, its roots stretching back to the Domesday Book of 1086. The parish church of St. Mary's stands as a silent testament to the passage of time. Dodleston holds secrets, whispers of strange occurrences.
That doesn't look like Dodleston. That looks like a fantasy AI art scene, or maybe like a video game scene.
This is an unexplained phenomena. Locals speak of ghostly apparitions and phantom footsteps echoing through the ancient vicarage. At the heart of the Dodleston mystery lies the old vicarage adjacent to St. Mary's Church. Within its time-worn walls, the strange saga of the Dodleston messages began. In the late 1980s, Reverend Gilbert Smith reported unsettling events. Strange noises, disembodied voices, and moving objects plagued the vicarage. Reverend Smith contacted paranormal investigators from Chester. Led by John Hope, they arrived with recording equipment and skepticism.
Vicarage. Such a fun word, vicarage. Vicarage Farm remembers.
Initial investigations were inconclusive, but activity soon intensified. Disembodied voices grew louder, their whispers emanating from the walls. John Hope, a man of science, suspected irrational...
So, blue hair, just keep in mind that blue hair will keep the chuds away. Like, if you want to drive chuds away from you, blue hair.
Explanation for the strange phenomena at the vicarage. He theorized the voices and noises could be electromagnetic interference from faulty wiring. Hope brought in a BBC microcomputer, cutting edge for paranormal investigation. He believed the computer might detect and translate electromagnetic waves. The team set up the computer in the attic and waited. They were about to stumble upon a baffling mystery.
So, I mean, that's not a bad idea if you think there's electrical short, to investigate that. I don't know if using the computer is the best way to do it. Probably hire an electrician to put their little clippy things on the wires in different places and find out where the problem lies.
For days, the BBC microcomputer sat in the dusty silence of the vicarage attic, its screen dark, its keyboard untouched. John Hope and Reverend Smith took turns monitoring the machine, their anticipation growing with each passing hour. The silence, however, remained unbroken. Just when their hopes began to dwindle, something extraordinary occurred. Late one night, as the wind howled outside and shadows danced across the attic floor, the computer flickered to life. At first, it was just a random jumble of characters, a meaningless string
Doom. You have more the doom.
of letters and numbers scrolling across the screen. John, initially suspecting a technical glitch, quickly realized that there was a pattern to the chaos. The characters, though seemingly random, were in fact binary code, the language of computers. With a mix of excitement and trepidation.
What? The computer screen showed you the binary code? It must be the Matrix. I wonder how much influence this had on the Matrix, though, for real.
John set about deciphering the message, his fingers flying across the keyboard as he translated the ones and zeros into readable text. As John decoded the binary message, a chill ran down his spine. The words were a voice from beyond the grave. The message spoke of events long past, of people and places lost to time. It spoke of a secret that tormented his soul even in death.
Here comes
As the researchers delved deeper into the messages, they uncovered even more startling revelations. The entity communicating
Bring it on.
through the computer, identifying itself only as the Keeper, seemed to possess an uncanny knowledge of Dodleston's history, revealing long-forgotten details about the village and its inhabitants. Names, dates, and events, all meticulously documented in local historical records, were recounted with an eerie accuracy that sent shivers down their spines. One message in particular mentioned...
Now, I'm saying that, this is... my opinion on this is that it was a troll. I can't be sure about that, but...
A young woman named Eleanor Cavendish, who had lived in the village in the 17th century. The message described Eleanor's tragic fate, claiming that she had been falsely accused of witchcraft and burned at the stake. John, skeptical yet intrigued, consulted the local historical archives and was astonished to find a record of Eleanor Cavendish's trial and execution.
See, I'm thinking like as somebody with a historical knowledge of the township, trolling them over like an early network system of some kind.
The details matching the message with chilling precision. The line between history and the supernatural was becoming increasingly blurred. The language used in the messages was another source of fascination and bafflement. While the messages were primarily in English,
I actually do like it warmer too, John. I like it, yeah, right around 80 is perfect for me.
Contained archaic words and phrases, some dating back to Middle English and even Old English.
True. Internet creepypasta before it was cool.
This linguistic anomaly only added to the mystery, suggesting that the entity communicating through the computer was not only knowledgeable about the past but also somehow connected to it. Linguistic experts were called in to analyze the messages, their expertise challenged by the strange blend of ancient and modern language. Some experts theorized that the entity might be drawing upon a reservoir of historical knowledge, accessing and replicating language from different eras. Others, more mystic...
Who's making that theory? So you're telling me that the linguists who were brought in to investigate these messages were like, yeah, this must be from a sacred pool of linguistic knowledge. Is that the claim? I don't think any of them said that. Matter of fact, I've seen interviews with some of the different linguists who address these messages, tear them up pretty good. So about their the way that the person speaks, their sentence structure not being correct for the time period or for any time period.
Inclined suggested that the entity might be a time traveler, its speech patterns a reflection of its journey through the corridors of time. Whatever the explanation, the Dodleston messages had opened a Pandora's box of linguistic intrigue, challenging conventional understanding of language, time, and the nature of communication itself.
So here's the thing. Judge me all you want, but I can be naked at 80 degrees. That's my threshold. I want to be able to be naked in my room, right?
The inexplicable nature of the Dodleston messages sent ripples through the scientific community. Intrigued by the potential of bridging the chasm between the tangible and the intangible, researchers from various disciplines descended upon the unassuming village. Physicists,
it was more like media stuff, wasn't it?
With their instruments of measurement, sought to quantify the
those physicists with their instruments of measurement.
inexplicable energy that might be enabling such an extraordinary form of communication. Were these messages riding on electromagnetic waves, or was there a yet undiscovered force at play?
Or was there an Ethernet cable? Like, what kind of cable would it have been? It would just been like an old network cable, I guess. Or there would have been a few cables, so in this old computer to hook it to a network. Was there network cables?
Historians, armed with their knowledge of the past,
was it like solid state?
Meticulously cross-reference the information revealed in the messages with archived records. Could this be a new window into understanding our past, a direct line to those who lived and breathed centuries ago? The potential for historical validation was tantalizing, but so was the possibility of rewriting long-held beliefs. The very foundation of historical research was being challenged, forcing academics to confront the limitations of their understanding.
Was it, though? Or was somebody pulling a big prank? You're tethering a lot to people believing this. I don't think even at the time that it was going on that a lot of these people actually believed that it was supernatural.
As with any inexplicable phenomenon, skepticism cast a long shadow over the Dodleston messages. Debunkers, armed with logic and razor emerged, determined to find a more rational explanation for the seemingly impossible. Their scrutiny, often sharp and unforgiving, focused on potential human machinations. Was this an elaborate hoax, carefully orchestrated to deceive? The possibility of a prank designed to play on the public's fascination with the paranormal couldn't be ignored. Technical experts meticulously analyzed the computer and the software, searching for any signs of tampering or external manipulation. Every line of code was scrutinized, every component examined under a microscope. Could the messages be the result of a
Where are these messages being stored at, I guess, is the question. Is there like a file? Because this is before Windows, so we're talking like in DOS systems. I just where are the messages coming from and where are they being stored at are good questions, but there has to be some kind of network input that this thing's connected to even be set up to receive messages. I don't know. Are you Google debunkers?
Cleverly designed program mimicking the patterns of random binary code? The pursuit of a technological explanation, a glitch in the matrix, so to speak, was relentless. After all, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence.
A glitch in the matrix, of course. How long we got? No, 9 minutes in, about halfway through it before a matrix reference really jumped out.
Undeterred by the skepticism, John Hope and his team devised a series of experiments to test the authenticity of the messages and the nature of the alleged communication channel. Their goal—
Here's the thing, though. I don't really trust John Hope at this point in the story. I just don't trust him. I think that maybe, possibly, potentially, he is full of shit.
goal to establish a controlled environment, eliminating any possibility of human interference or external influence. If the messages persisted under such conditions, it would lend credence to the possibility of a genuine paranormal phenomenon. One of their most ambitious experiments involved placing the BBC microcomputer inside a Faraday cage, a shielded enclosure designed to block electromagnetic waves. If the messages were indeed being transmitted through
They built a Faraday cage in this little, it's not a villa, what is it? Cottage. Yeah, cottage house.
conventional means, the Faraday cage would effectively silence them. The team huddled around the monitoring equipment outside the cage, their faces a mixture of anticipation and anxiety. The silence within the cage was deafening. Section 4. A symphony of static. The tension in the room was palpable. The silence was shattered. A cacophony of static erupted from the monitor. The screen flickered, displaying a chaotic jumble of characters. John's heart pounded, struggling to comprehend. The static intensified, then ceased. Silence descended once more. John and his team stared, their minds reeling. The Faraday cage had amplified the entity. The line between science and the supernatural blurred.
Oh, we got some Frankenstein claims going on here now. They've awoken the Dodleston computer ghost. Make it like the Beetlejuice town.
Section 1. A village transformed. The quaint tranquility of Dodleston, a village accustomed to the quiet rhythm of rural life, was irrevocably disrupted. The once sleepy lanes, traversed for generations by farmers and vicars, were now teeming with journalists, researchers, and curious onlookers, all drawn to the epicenter of an unfolding mystery. The Dodleston messages, initially confined to the hushed whispers of the vicarage, had become a global sensation, their digital whispers echoing far beyond the ancient parish boundaries. The local pub, the George and Dragon.
Our first computer, what was it? We got a used computer when I was pretty young, but it wasn't able to connect to the internet or anything. It was basically we could play basic computer games on it, and it had like writing stuff and solitaire, and yeah. I mean, it wasn't, it was well after like the Commodore era. I can't remember what brand it was though. I do remember a lot of the games on it though. They were really basic computer games. But the first computer we got that was new though was an Acer computer. And it came with Mech Warriors 2, and it came with it was a game called Gex that it came with. It was like a side scroller.
A place where locals had gathered for centuries to share stories and pints of ale was now abuzz.
It's almost like Simpsons music
with a different kind of tale. Theories were exchanged over tankards, speculation
like Beetlejuice meets The Simpsons
flowed as freely as the local brew, and the air crackled with a mix of apprehension and excitement. The Dodleston messages had become a shared experience, binding the villagers together in a tapestry woven from wonder, fear.
They were not a shared experience, like a couple of dudes. That's it.
The irresistible allure of the unknown. Section 2. Curiosity and fear. The influx of outsiders brought a mix of blessings and burdens to Dodleston. The village, thrust into the global spotlight, experienced a surge in tourism.
Yeah, I like seeing me and my brother. We would play Mech Warriors together because we had like the keyboard control. So what we would do is one of us would control the motion, like where we walk, and the other would control would be the gunner, like control the turrets and stuff, and we were really good at it. We would rock the house. The Mech Warriors too.
Visitors eager to catch a glimpse of the church where it all began or to experience the eerie atmosphere of the vicarage brought a much-needed economic boost. Gift shops catering to the sudden demand, stocked up on postcards depicting the BBC microcomputer, t-shirts emblazoned with binary code, and mugs bearing the inscription, "Dodleston where time speaks." However, this newfound fame came at a price. The constant scrutiny, the relentless flash of cameras, and the incessant questioning began to take their toll on the residents. The village,
Good
once
morning,
a
my
sanctuary of
unfinished
peace
journey.
and quiet, now felt like a stage. Its inhabitants both actors and exhibits in a drama they never auditioned for. The line between curiosity and intrusion blurred, and
Sometimes when I watch these videos, there's such a weird selection. Such a weird selection of stock footage that they use. Like, this has nothing to do with the Dodleston messages. I'm sure there's plenty of computer and plenty of computer stock footage and British cottage footage that you could use.
the villagers found themselves struggling to maintain a semblance of normalcy amidst the unfolding enigma.
I myself am something of an unfolding enigma.
For some residents, the Dodleston messages were more than just a source of curiosity or inconvenience. They were a source of genuine fear.
I played SimCity 2000. I played The Sims, the first 2 Sims games. What else did I play? We played Age of Empire. Me and my high school girlfriend, we were Age of Empire nuts. We played it all the time. We played, then the big game came. Then Diablo 2 came out. And I think it was 98, 99. Regardless, we got that. And yeah, we spent hours and hours on that game, both of us. And my ex was really good at it. My high school girlfriend, that's Ian's mom, but yeah, she was so good at Diablo. I just like being the necromancer in Diablo. When you're the necromancer and you're playing online in the late 90s, early 2000s, you can actually defeat your enemies in PvP by just having an army of skeletons that causes their computer to lag. I do remember Leisure Suit Larry. Oh my gosh. Actually, I got nostalgic for it a couple months back and watched a playthrough on YouTube of Leisure Suit Larry.
Fear and anxiety. The messages, with their tales of tragedy, loss, and restless spirits, tapped into deep-seated anxieties about the afterlife and the unknown. The veil between the living and the dead, once a comforting distance, now seemed perilously thin. Sleep became elusive for some, haunted by imagined whispers and the chilling glow of computer screens. The ancient churchyard, once a place of peace and remembrance, now seemed
like Elon Musk talking about how great he is at Diablo 4 or whatever. Was it Diablo 4 or Diablo 3? I don't remember which one it was, but I think I could crush him at Diablo 2. I think I could probably crush most people at Diablo 2. I wouldn't use a necromancer though. I would use an Amazon. A Boazon is what they would have called it. And I would murder stomp just about anybody. I could kill them before they even appear on my screen.
imbued with an unsettling energy. Shadows seemed to dance more menacingly, the rustling of leaves took on an ominous tone, and the weight of unseen eyes bore down on those who dared to venture there after dark. The Dodleston messages had, in a sense, awakened a collective fear of the unseen, a primal dread that lurked beneath the surface of their once peaceful existence.
Did they, though?
Despite the skepticism, the Dodleston messages continued to resonate in the years that followed. The story, fueled by the burgeoning internet, found new life in online forums, chat rooms, and nascent social media platforms. The digital whispers, once confined to a single BBC microcomputer, were now amplified and disseminated across the globe at the speed of light. The Dodleston messages became a digital campfire story, passed from one screen to another, each retelling adding a new layer of intrigue or speculation. Amateur sleuths, armed with search engines and digital archives, embarked on their own investigations, seeking...
It is mysterious, but it's not a mysterious... Elon is Diablo 2? Oh no, I would rock Elon Musk at Diablo 2. Yeah. He wouldn't even get on my... He wouldn't even get onto my screen. I would... at least if we were playing the PC version of it. I don't know about like the upgraded version or whatever, but if we're playing the classic BattleNet connection, original Diablo 2. Well, it could be the upgrade as long as the controls are the same. I don't care if the graphics have been upgraded, but yeah, if I was a Boazon, crush you. Yes, I remember Oregon Trail. Oregon Trail was, you get dysentery when you cross the rivers and stuff. You lose all your stuff and you hunt bears with a dot.
To unravel the mystery from afar. The messages, once a local phenomenon, had transcended geographical...
A missile command and stuff like that, wasn't really my speed. I've never been a big fan of like army games. Like other than Swords and Sorcery. Yeah, I can't really think of any army games that I really played too much. Well, I guess Age of Empire, but that was like, that's medieval style. Or, well, the first Age of Empire, you start off as like a caveman. Asteroids, like on the arcade machine, Asteroids was good. If I go to the arcade, though, the first game I look for is like Pac-Man. I love playing Pac-Man with a joystick. Nothing beats playing Pac-Man with a joystick. Donkey Kong's fun with the joystick too.
Boundaries, becoming a shared global narrative, a testament to humanity's enduring fascination with the unexplained and the power of technology to both illuminate and amplify the mysteries of our world. The Dodleston messages, like threads of...
The first Diablo was... when you bought the new Diablo, or the Diablo 2, it usually came with a copy of... If you got the big box set, came with a copy of Diablo 1. Diablo 1's just it's a more straightforward dungeon crawler where you just keep going down and down into dungeons. It's pretty cool though. My problem with Diablo 1 is that you can't really run. You get so used to running in Diablo 2 that you can't make your warrior, your sorcerer, or your rogue run.
With silver in a tapestry of time, weave a perplexing pattern across reality. Were these messages the desperate pleas of souls lost in the ether, or echoes of a past imprinted on Dodleston stones? Ghostly entities reaching across centuries to tap on a modern keyboard. The historical accuracy.
Or were they hackers that were ahead of their time? Huh?
The linguistic anomalies hint at a force beyond our comprehension, where the laws of physics blur, whispers from the past mingle with the present. The human mind, a relentless seeker of patterns and explanations, grapples with the enigma of the Dodleston messages. We yearn for...
See, I remember like my arcade time, I was much... I don't know if I was much younger, I guess. But when I started going to the arcade, there were the big games where they had the Terminator game, where you actually like hold the gun and shoot them. And then they had the Jurassic Park driving game. Those were like the big types of the popular types of games. And as far as cabinet games with joysticks, it was Mortal Kombat, and it was the beat 'em up games like the Turtle arcade games, and the X-Men X-Men arcade games. Yeah.
For a neat conclusion, a satisfying resolution that fits within the confines of our understanding. Yet some mysteries defy such easy categorization. The Dodleston messages, like a phantom limb, remind us of the limitations of our perception, the vastness of what we do not know. Perhaps the true message of Dodleston lies not in the deciphering of binary code or the validation of historical facts, but in the shattering of our own preconceived notions. What if, as some quantum physicists...
Why lean into why, maybe it's facts, maybe it's ghost, and then you're like, okay, I'm going to go with the ghost because it makes me feel good. Don't ever do that about any topic.
Propose, reality is not a fixed entity.
I'm not telling you how to live your life, but you're just going to find yourself disappointed if you're like, okay, so there could be a rational explanation for this, or there could be ghosts, and you're like, oh, well, it's ghost.
Fluid, ever-shifting construct influenced by observation and consciousness itself? Could the Dodleston messages be a side effect of this quantum entanglement?
Joust, I like Joust. Joust is the one where you're on the ostriches, right? I like Bubble Bobble, too. Bubble Bobble.
A bleeding through of alternate realities or timelines converging in the heart of an English village? The Dodleston messages remain an open case, a cold file in the archives of the unexplained. The BBC microcomputer, a silent witness to the strange events, sits in a museum, its keyboard shrouded in a ghostly silence. The vicarage, though now home to a new family, still whispers with the weight of its past, the echoes of...
I know that that's not true. The people that lived there after were all like, nah, there's no haunting at all. So there's no residual activity or anything like that.
Binary code lingering in its ancient timbers. Dodleston itself, once thrust into the spotlight, has retreated back into its quiet existence.
Y'all remember Burger Time? Burger Time was a great OG game. Where you had to like stack the different burgers in the right way for the order.
Tourists have long gone, their cameras and questions replaced by the familiar rhythm of village life. Yet the memory of the messages lingers, a ghost story whispered around fireplaces on cold winter nights.
I mean, every town has one. Every town has a ghost story or a haunted house or haunted school, haunted section of the school, haunted church, haunted graveyard, haunted municipal buildings, haunted jails. Every town has them. And sometimes they are able to make tourist bucks off of them. But do I believe that any of them are haunted, like actually haunted by ghosts? No. Some of them have like a history that could be called haunting. But I don't think that means that they're actually are spirits of deceased people or demons or anything like that roaming around. I just don't believe that that's possible.
Reminder that some mysteries are not meant to be solved, but rather pondered. Their enigma woven into the very fabric of the village itself.
I'll weave my enigma into your fabric.
The Dodleston messages, whether a genuine glimpse into the afterlife, a quirk of technology, or a carefully crafted hoax, have left an indelible mark on our collective imagination. They remind us that the universe is full of wonders and terrors beyond our current understanding. They urge us to question, to explore, and to embrace the unknown with a sense of both curiosity and humility. As we gaze upon the stars, our minds filled with questions about the nature of time, reality, and the possibility of life beyond our own, we are left with a final, haunting thought. What if, somewhere out there, in the vast expanse of the cosmos, someone, or something, is trying to reach us? Their messages carried on the very fabric of existence itself, waiting for us to decipher their meaning.
I mean, cool. We were getting like alien messages or whatever, but... And, you know, if you argue time's not linear or whatever, okay, show me some evidence of any actual time travel. Time travel is one of my favorite topics. I love glitch in the matrix stories and stuff like that, but I've never seen any that were convincing.
The Dodleston messages, in their own inexplicable way, invite us to listen.
Oh, it cuts off right in mid-sentence. Yeah. All right. So that was like a kind of a loose version of the Dodleston tapes or messages. There's actually plenty of videos out there where they go through the messages one by one, and they have linguists decipher what they're saying and how it's, you know, the language, whether it's accurate or not. It's not a very convincing story today, but at the time when people didn't know a lot about computers and things like that, it was probably very, oh my gosh, it's insane. But I digress. Let me see here. Checking make sure I don't get any other, I spent more, yeah, the Y-Files has a good episode on it. Yeah, that's true. I considered watching that, but I don't, you know, the Y-Files, I kind of worry about getting copyright strike by them. So I found a smaller channel to check out. But you let me know what you think about the Dodleston messages in the comments down below. Please remember to be kind and take care, and we will see you next time. All right, live from the Hive. Peoples, don't go anywhere because we still have the Brainworms segment coming up for Bree's Bestiary. I just wanted to tell you thank you for sticking around. Really appreciate it. I do have a bit of a throbbing freaking headache. I'm not gonna lie, it's making my see me keep closing this eye. It's like right above this eye right here. I'm gonna pull the hair in front of it. But I digress. I will gonna take a quick intermission, and then we're gonna jump into the Brainworms. So don't go anywhere, and we will have a little bit more show to go. Hello, my beauties and bees, and welcome to another installment of Bree's Bestiary, where I pick whatever animal I want from the animal kingdom and we talk about it. A lot of times I'll pick stuff that's topical, or definitely try to lean towards stuff that is related to humans, because the best way to help people understand the animal kingdom is through personal experience and how these animals have affected human existence. So I will kind of lean into that a bit, talk about things like domestication and Anthropocene extinctions, exploitation of exotics and intelligent animals like elephants. We'll talk about all kinds of stuff like that. But sometimes something's topical and we got to talk about parasites. Today we are talking about a few parasites, and it's going to get ugly. So if you're not like here for that, I understand. But I think that talking about brainworms at this point in our climate, our social climate, is important, because we need to understand what this is and how it affects people. So the first one we're going to look at, just to kind of wet your whistles, is not a human parasite, but we get to see some of the impacts of having something eating holes in your brain. I'm going to try to pronounce this name. You all can laugh at me. I love doing this. This is one of my favorite things about covering the animal topics, is trying to break down the name. So it's Perilaphostrogalus tenuis. That's fun to say. This is a brainworm that generally affects cervids. So you got white-tailed deer, moose, elk, caribou, mule deer. And it's pretty rough on the poor critters. So here's a bit about its life cycle. Fortunately, there's no sound, so I'll just talk through it. And they're called meningeal deer worms. Yeah. And they get into the bloodstream. Eggs hatch. Okay, to the lungs. Cough, cough. And the digestive system, where they get eaten by snails in the feces. Very common life cycle, right? And then you get the worm larva growing in the snail. This deer accidentally eats the snail while feeding. And then we get into the gray matter of spinal cord. It takes about 3 months from the time the deer is first infected until the adult brainworm begins to lay eggs and repeats the cycle. If a goat does it, it causes neurological diseases. So that's let's see what an animal behaves like when it's been infected with this, though. This is a moose with brainworms. It doesn't know what to do. Poor critter.
What are they doing?
Poor guy. Imagine that. Like, you get up and try to walk and you just can't stop walking in circles. I'll turn this down a little bit. We can turn it down like that. You just keep spiraling. Look at the tongue going. The ears twitching. Aww. He's just trying to cross the road and he's stuck. He or she. The males shed their antlers though. I tend to masculinize large animals. I don't mean to, but unless it's a feline. Feline all feminized. Unless it's a lion, of course, because then you can tell the difference. I'm gonna try to tremble until you can see in the legs. Poor moose. Oh goodness, you've been chased by a moose, John? Had one chase me while I was on a dirt bike and the girl ran with me and it felt like forever. So pissy. Yeah. Yeah. I'm okay with the moose being female. That's probable. But in humans, there's another kind of worm that gets into our brain. And that's this one, the Tania solium. It's the pork tapeworm, right? Tapeworms. They get into your brain and they can cause all kinds of problems, including big cyst in your brain. Nothing good comes from having cyst in your brain, let me tell you right now. Well, don't only let me tell you. We're going to let this doctor tell us. This is Dr. Betsy Grunch.
Why would someone have an MRI that shows holes all in their brain? Happy New Year, and for this Sunday case study, I'm going to bring you a case that's going to make you go, holy moly. I have a 28-year-old male who presents to my office with headaches.
I think she's funny. Let me know, because I like people with odd character or quirks. So I often can't tell when my audience doesn't like somebody. Again, I defer back to chills.
His primary care doctor ordered an MRI that showed this. What in the world are we looking at with all of these holes in this man's brain? His past medical history is really insignificant. He doesn't really have any known medical problems, but he did recently move here from South America. What in the Grey's Anatomy is going on with this MRI, and what can we do about it? Stay tuned tomorrow, and I'll go through the whole case.
All right. Yeah, there was the virus affecting the deer. I did cover that in my video on the not deer. It's been pretty recently, within the last year, where I covered the not deer. So go back and check that out if you want to dive into the zombie deer disease.
Can cause holes in your brain. Yesterday, I presented the case of a 28-year-old male that came to my office with headaches. He's had these headaches for a while, but they've gotten progressively worse. He had no significant past medical history other than the fact that he grew up in South America and recently immigrated to the United States. MRI of his brain was ordered by his primary care doctor that showed all of these spots on his brain. Have you ever heard of brainworms? Well, now you have. Many of you guys got the answer to this, and this is neurocysticercosis, which is a parasitic infection to the brain, or brainworms. How can that happen? Here's a brief explanation. You first have the pork tapeworm named Tania solium. Then a human eats undercooked or raw pork and gets the tapeworm in their intestines. That person then passes these tapeworms in their feces. If they don't wash their hands properly, the eggs can get on their hands and then they contaminate food that can be ingested by another person. When this person eats the eggs, then they form into larvae within the body and can go to the brain. Then you get brainworms. Most people in the United States that get neurocysticercosis come from regions in which the disease is most prominent, including Latin America. The time interval from getting the infection to developing symptoms within the brain can be anywhere from 1 to 30 years. Cysts in the brain can cause a variety of symptoms such as headaches, seizures, altered mental status, and even hydrocephalus. The first stage, you can actually have active parasites within the brain. In 4 to 5 years with no treatment, or in the early stages of treatment.
Imagine having active freaking parasites in your brain. I'm probably letting this play too long, but she's just, I mean, I have nothing to say. This is a doctor talking. So I just want to hear what she has to say and want you guys to hear what she has to say. But you know, I have to intervene because of YouTube's coverage. But yeah, right now I'm really digging this channel. I'm going to plug the hell out of her in just a second. So
the membrane surrounding the cyst can become leaky, and you can actually get swelling around the cyst, and this can cause neurological deficits. Over time, the cyst will eventually involute, and then you get these calcified nodules within the brain. In disseminated cases, like the case I presented, you can see all of these larvae within the brain that have involuted over time. Once diagnosed, antiparasitic medications is used to treat this infection. Most cases of neurocysticercosis do not need surgery, but sometimes we do need to take a biopsy to make the diagnosis, and sometimes a patient needs shunting if they develop hydrocephalus. That means that these larvae can actually obstruct the fluid flow within the brain. It's the leading cause of adult onset epilepsy worldwide. So how can we prevent
yikes, epilepsy,
this problem? Good hand washing hygiene and treating patients with active intestinal tapeworms can drastically reduce the number of new cases per year. Hope you guys
wash your damn hands before you handle food. That's easy enough to follow. Yeah. And, you know, make sure you cook your pork thoroughly.
You guys learned something today, and stay tuned next week, and I'll go through another interesting case. I hope you have a wonderful start to your 2023.
So this is older. So this is Betsy Grunch. She's an MD, so I like her. I think she's quirky and fun. Let's look at her channel here, because she covers all kinds of cool stuff. And she's been posting like pretty regular. She posts pretty regularly every couple of days. So, yep, go give this person a subscribe. And you can hit the bell to make sure you get all of their videos. All right. So, I mean, that's about all I have to say about brainworms. So now when someone talks about a person, whether that person is someone in your personal life or someone who you care about, you know, or someone you don't care about, it doesn't matter. We need to understand what this condition is and what causes it and what the symptoms of it are and how it can affect someone's behavior and things like that. And the detrimental problems a person could have with this condition. So just keep that in mind as you crack your jokes and stuff about whether political figures or whatever with this condition. I have empathy for anybody who gets afflicted with this. So yeah. Please just cook your food, wash your hands, remember to be kind and take care, and we'll see you next time. Thank you so much for sticking with me. Man, I got a headache. I feel like I got brainworms. I feel like there's brainworms in my head. But I just wanted to cover that. I mean, it's really, if this happens to you, it's generally not your fault directly. I mean, it can be if you're the one who prepared your own food and your hands were the ones with the yuck on them, with the feces on them. It can be your fault, but a lot of times it's like something served to you by other people. whether it's in a restaurant or, in South America, there's this is a bigger problem than anywhere else. So, like the doctor said, yeah. Anyway, thank you guys for sticking around with me. It's been a fun show. I hope you come back next week. Remember, we have a Weird With It episode that's scheduled for Wednesdays, and then we have every Friday night we have a CrypticCorner premiere. So check out all of that, and I really appreciate you guys. Love y'all. Yeah, you are the weird characters that I enjoy. You're exactly right. Be kind. Take care. Love you so much. I will see you all later. Bye-bye.
With all the noise, pseudoscience, and political rhetoric clogging the airwaves about transgender people, it can be difficult to understand what's really happening and what's really true. Good news, everyone! Welcome to The Transpositions, your compass in the rugged landscape of transgender issues. Here, we strive to be the beacon of authenticity, providing a platform that amplifies the voices and experiences of the transgender community. From breaking news to in-depth features to breaking down the real science, we are committed to fostering understanding, empathy, and empowerment for all individuals across the gender spectrum. Join us as we navigate the complexities, celebrate the triumphs, and advocate for the rights of transgender people worldwide. Together, we can redefine boundaries, challenge stereotypes, and champion inclusivity. Subscribe today. The link is in the description.